Hey, how you doing? My name's Mike Panichi, and I've been breeding these Solomon Island leaf frogs, which I'm having a good time with. And a lot of people ask me to do a quick video on how I keep them. So this isn't really a video about, breeding and everything else, but this is generally how I keep my adults. So I have a, 36-inch Exoterra by 24 inches because these frogs are pretty good jumpers. So I give them some head space, and I keep a trio or like 1.4 or maybe even 1.5 in this tank. You can see a yellow male right there and an orange female in the back. I keep them on, you know, natural. This is natural cypress mulch that I get at the nursery by me, and I swap it out once a month. And I like this because, first of all, it holds moisture, and it also is just uncomfortable enough where the frogs don't want to lay their eggs here. They'll burrow in it, but they don't really like laying the eggs in there. And I did that with the intention of putting in an egg box filled with cocoa fiber or, some sort of desert blend. Tropical blend of your favorite, soil. I don't think it matters too much as long as it holds humidity. So I have this little box in there, and it causes the frogs or forces the frogs to lay their eggs in there. They just want to, and it's easy. They bury it, and it's a lot easier to find the clutches of eggs. In the beginning, I was doing the whole tank in this, but I was missing too many clutches of eggs. It's just too many, areas to look in the tank. So I put these egg boxes in, and it's worked really well. The 2 tanks of adults I had that produced over probably 100 clutches of eggs. I would say 98% of them were laid in these boxes, and a good portion of them were fertile. So I've done really well with this method. And I have a little aluminum spoon, and I just it's not even aluminum, it's plastic. And I just scrape away. I do this check maybe, once or twice a week. And you can kind of feel what's loose, there's not really going to be eggs in there. And as you're scraping, you feel for hard areas as it's getting, not really hard, but the soil becomes compact. And I think what's going on is when the frogs lay their eggs, when they bury them back up, they urinate in the clutch also. Or maybe it's just from the male frog fertilizing the egg that compacts the soil down around the clutch. Now here it's getting pretty hard. I could feel it. Yep, and there's a couple of eggs. Right there's the top of the clutch. And that's what I do, and I kind of see if I can get the top of the soil off the clutch. I go in and just gently knock a couple loose. I have a pre-prepared egg box filled with just moist sphagnum moss. And nothing too fancy. I take them out with my fingers and I just drop them in there. And I've noticed that, most of the clutches that are buried, those are going to be, or have chances of being good fertile clutches. But pretty much any clutch that's laid outside of the box or, just on top of the soil, it's just not going to be fertile. I mean, you could incubate them if you want, but I don't think it just hasn't turned out to be fertile here. So when I see them, I just throw them out. I don't even bother. And this is like my average clutch. I would think it's 25, 30 eggs, something like that. 25, 35. Sometimes I go up to 45 on some of the bigger females. This time of year, the frogs have slowed down in terms of their fertility. Actually, I've taken steps to slow them down on purpose. I've cut the humidity back and the food back in hopes that they would slow down with the production to give them a break. But it really hasn't worked. I mean, the fertility has gone down somewhat, but that's about it. And that's it. It looks pretty much gone right to the bottom. And then I just cover it up and I continue to the next spot. And you can feel how it's still hard there. Again, I'm not sure if the males urinate on the clutch. I mean, I know that's what turtles do and tortoises, some of them. Or it just could be from, the whole fertilization process as the male's on top of the female. Just from my nighttime observations, I've learned that the males dig the hole, and they'll go in a hole and they'll call very heavily. Oh, there's another clutch. Yep. Normally I would separate these two and put them in different baskets, but I'm going to take them all out and put them in the same basket. You can see the clutches there. There you go. So the male digs the hole, and he sits in that hole, and he calls. And if a female's receptive, or she has eggs that are ready to be fertilized, she'll go up to them, and she'll get right in that hole, and they'll get in their position, I guess they call it amplexus. And they'll sit there like that for, a while. Sometimes the female lets out a really low call. You wouldn't even hear it unless you're looking for it. Right before getting in the hole with the male. And then she lays her eggs, the males fertilize the eggs, and they bury the hole back up. Oh, there's another clutch. And the systems worked for me pretty well. I did pretty good my first year with these guys. I had a bunch of them done very, very well. Again, normally I would be separating these clutches, but to be honest with you, I just have so many, and there's a good chance that these guys are going to be infertile anyway, just based on, the last bunch of recent clutches I've had. It seems like September is when the actual breeding season kicks into high gear over here anyway. And that's when I, triple the humidity. I put my Miss Kings up to twice a day at, a minute and a half. I keep them pretty wet when they're breeding. And these frogs seem to like it, so. And I also feed a lot more. I also swap this substrate out once a month when I clean the cypress mulch. And it seems like that's it. 3 clutches. And I have 3 females in there, so that makes sense. And I just soften it all up. Just kind of mix it back up. Lay some of the pothos back over it. And the frogs don't really seem to even know that, it's artificial. It seems like it's a good thing. These frogs seem to like terrain too. I have some of my grow out tanks with areas for them to climb on top of, and they're constantly up in the air, climbing around. Let's check these guys out a little bit, okay? And that's it. I take the clutch out. Try not to get as much soil in there usually. Put the lid on real tight, and I put them up on the top shelf with my in my frog room there, which maybe gets to 80 degrees. These eggs hatch pretty quick. They don't really make 30 days when they're fertile. These frogs start laying every 10 days. They'll lay a clutch when the breeding season's in full swing. And at 80 degrees, these eggs don't even make 30 days. They'll be hatching by the time it's like 28, 29 days. And that's how I run my eggs.